Okay, now we're going to get to the risk profile questionnaire. This is important. This is very important that you know this, that you get this, that you grasp this, okay? Because if you could learn the risk questionnaire profile, how to do it properly, you don't do this until you've given them the education on stuff, right? So that they can answer you properly. So let me just give you an example here. So let me just give you an example here, okay? So risk questionnaire. This client, let's just say he's how old? 40-year-old client. You're looking to plan his retirement account. Okay, so what is your age? That's not a trick question, okay? So that's pretty simple to do. Less than 45, circle 5. When do you expect to start withdrawing from this account? It's a retirement account. How old is he? 40. So not for at least 20 years. Not a trick question. Next question, long-term goals and expectations. Your views on how an investment should perform in the long term. This is now you've given them education. Now, if you don't give them education, do you understand? This is true. I have investment accounts with Primerica, a lot of them. Not one of them have ever educated the other people, the wealth management guys and they've never educated me on anything. And yet, they somehow have a risk questionnaire on record that I did, that I never did. Because once a year, it arrives, and says, if anything has changed, please mark this and send it back. So, I'm just letting you know, in the rest of the investment world, education that people are getting is close to nil. I mean, I have a lot of money, and these are wealth managers, and they're not giving. And then when they do, they're using a language that I understand, but most people wouldn't understand. Right over their head, they have no idea. And then people, they don't want to look stupid, so what do? They smile and nod. Right? Yeah, I get that. Yeah, sure. Are you sure? Yeah, I get it. You know what I normally do? You get that? Yeah, sure. You get it? Yeah, okay, good. Explain it to me. And I'll ask a client, can you explain it to me? Well, then you know whether they know it or not, right? Because if they're able, and you let them know. The reason I want you to explain it to me is because most people yes me. But I really want you to learn this. I really want you to understand it because it's important to you that you understand. Because what if I drop dead tomorrow? I need you to understand the education I brought you, so even if I'm not around, you're okay. So would you explain it, to me, so that way I can sleep at night? And then they explain it, and then guess what? They got it. Once they got it, you got them for the rest of their life. They're never leaving you. That's just the way it is, okay? So, on this investment, remember, this is a retirement investment. I intend, meaning the client, I intend to take higher risk in return to get potentially superior returns. It's not I'm investing aggressively because I'm getting guaranteed I'm going to get a 12 rate of return. They have to understand market goes up and down, up and down. Okay? Now if you move on to the next question. Assuming normal market conditions. Normal market conditions, meaning it's not up, it's not way down, normal. Assuming normal market conditions, what would you expect from this investment over time? To generally keep pace with the stock market. So if the stock market is up, I expect this investment to be up. If the stock market is down, I expect this investment to be down. Then you know you're leaning towards high growth, which is how much stocks all stocks? 100%. Because if the market goes up and you're in all stocks, your investments are going to go up. You with me? Are you following me? Now, what if they answer this? Let's say, assuming normal market conditions, what would you expect from this investment? What if they said to have high degree of stability but make small profit? Would that jive with I intend to take higher risk and potentially superior return? See, your job is when you're asking these questions that you know they're getting it. And the only way you know that they're getting it is if their answers jive. If their answers don't jive, they're not getting it. You need to spend more time with them. Nobody wants to do that, by the way. Everybody just wants to get in, close the life app, get out. I'm serious. Okay, watch the next question. It says, suppose the stock market performs unusually poorly over the next decade. What would you expect from this investment? So if the stock market did bad and you're a real high growth investor, you would expect your investment to also do bad. Because if you're in the stock market and the stock market goes down, you expect yours to go down. What if they answered, if the market went down, I expect to make gains regardless of the market's performance? In that case, you're leaning more towards income portfolio because that's mostly bonds, which will pay interest. And if the market goes down, generally bonds go up, they do better. And we ran the illustration, if you remember, on the income part of it. Even if you went the worst years, if you had the worst luck and you invested at the worst time, you still made money, right or wrong. So you just need to make sure that their answers are jiving. How's everybody doing? Unbelievable! Okay. Next one now, right? Now what's the title here? What's it say? Short-term risk. What's your attitude, Mr. Client, towards the what? Short term on this investment account. Which of these statements would best describe your attitude about the next what? 3 years. I understand a loss of principal is a realistic possibility because you went over with them ups and downs. Market goes up, market goes down, market goes up, market goes down. So in the next year or 2 or 3, the market could go down. If it goes down, your value of your principal, you don't lose money if you leave it alone, but it could go down in value. What if they answer, I would need to see at least a little return, even if the market went down? They're not high growth investors, that's all. So you need to re-ask all those other questions in. But wait a minute, Mr. Klein, over here you said that you intend to take higher risk in return, to get potentially superior return. And now here you say if the market they don't jive, Mr. Client. So let me explain it again because you really need to understand it. This is important. This lets us know where to invest your money. And if you don't properly understand it, you don't answer me the right way where I know you understand it, I need to re-explain it to you again because this is important. This is that important. And you just explain it all again if you have to. Let me tell you, when you leave their house, they're going to be like, yo, I have never had anybody in the investment world spend that much one-on-one time with me. The leads you'll get, the recruits you get, the referrals you get, the value you bring, the rollovers you get are going to be huge. Listen, it's just you're planting seeds, man. This is a business. You plant seeds, and then over time, everything grows. It's unbelievable. You have a jungle later, Okay, the next question. Which of these statements would best describe your attitude about the next what? 3 months. Like if they give a crap about the next 3 months, they don't get anything you went over with them. So if they say, I wouldn't worry about market fluctuations in that time frame, that answer's in line with high growth investor. If they go, I'd have a hard time accepting any investment declines, do not invest their money. I'm telling you, because the market's going to go down. And that's the client that'll ring up the regulator, and you'll have all these problems. So do not walk away. There are times where you got to walk away. There are clients, no matter how much you educate them, they don't get it. And if they don't get it, even if they got $1 million, walk away. If these answers do not jive, and you've explained and explained, and they want a riskier investments than their answers, number one, you're not allowed to do it. You're required to link their investment with their risk score. That's number one. But you can have it where the answers do not jive, and you can still link an investment with that score. And if the answers do not jive, and the market goes down, and they ring up the regulators, and the regulators ring up Primerica, and Primerica rings you up, and they look up your account, and the answers, they don't jive, you're in trouble. So you need to make sure that the answers jive. It's no big deal. It's all common sense. But look, this guy scored, what score is that? 35. So all you do is you look on the matrix. I got it right here. You don't even need to change to it. What's he score? 32 to 35. High growth portfolio. He's going to invest $100 a month. Where do you go? Silver. He's investing $800 a month. Where do you go? Gold. He's investing $1,200 a month. Where do you go? Platinum. Like, I have dumbed it down. Ain't no way to mess it up, right, Russ? No way to mess that up, right? Now, let's move over to another client. Now, this client's a little bit older. How old's this client? 55. Would you agree there's a big difference there? You got less years. All it means is if there is an 08, 09 that happens, the other guy, the younger guy's got more years, to recover. If this guy wants, to retire in 10 years and an 08, 09 happens, it's going to screw up his retirement. Or he'll have to work longer, that's all, which we don't want them to do that. But listen, that's another thing. When you're working with a client and you run their F&A and they want to retire, and listen, when they're not able to retire, you need to be the voice of reason. You need to let them know, listen, you are not able to retire. You don't have enough money to retire. I don't want to tell you that, but it's the truth. And as your advisor, I want to tell you that if you retire now, you're going to run out of money because you don't have enough money. But you know what a lot of people do? And I don't mean in Primerica. I mean in the industry. He has $1 million, and I know it's not enough money, but if I let him know that, he don't roll it over with me right now. I got to wait for that money, and man, I got a mortgage that's due, I got this is due, I need this $1 million trade to happen, and they make decisions based on their needs, not the client's needs. You can't do that. There've been many, look, I got a client right now who, we're very, very close. It's a client I wrote up in probably 02, right? So 02, 2012 would have been 10 years. And this lady's got like $1.8 million. That if I told her tomorrow you could retire, she's retiring tomorrow, and I'm rolling over $1.8 million, and I'll make a crap load of money. But based on her F&A, based on her quality of life, based on all these other things that I've went over with her, I said, listen, you need to work probably another X number of years. We could reevaluate it at that time, and then I explained, and you know what? She's like, okay, I'll do that. Because I'm honest with her. I go, you don't want to retire and then 8, 9 years in, to retirement worrying about running out of money. That's not a good retirement. You've worked very, very hard. Most people screw it up because they want to retire. They want to act like a child. See, a child does what they want to do. An adult does what they need to do. And so if they have a little money in their eyes, they got $1.2 million, $1.3 million, $1.4 million, whatever it is, and they think, oh, I could retire. And you let them know you can, and you explain to them why you can't, they'll either act like a child or an adult. Age has nothing to do whether you act like a child or an adult. Because there's old people that act like young people, and there's young people that act like old people. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. You need to understand that. That is really important. So anyways, next thing. So this client's older, so let's go to time horizon again. Again, not a trick question. What is your current age, right? So that's a 4. Notice it's less points. When do you expect withdrawing income? Notice it's not 20 years now. It's less years than that, so you less points. You only get 4. Long-term expectations. If you notice here, so look, the next question is, for this investment, I intend to take, what did he answer? Moderate risk in return for growth opportunity. Okay? Next question is, assuming normal market conditions, what would you expect of this investment over time? He says here, what? To trail the market, but make a what? Moderate profit. What if he would have said to generally pace the market? Well, you'd have to let him know, well, wait a minute. In order to pace the market, you're going to need higher risk in return for potentially. But you answered moderate risk, so this question has to jive with this one, Mr. Client. Okay, so this one, he could either answer this one or the one up top, but not the one up here that says generally keep pace with the market. They don't jive. Next one, suppose the stock market performs unusually poorly over the next decade. What would you expect from this investment? Notice he wrote what? To make a little gain. So this is a client that already, based on those questions, I know I'm not using high growth or growth, right or wrong. Now, I don't need to make that judgment because I just need to ask the questions and make sure the questions jive and add up the points. I don't know if anybody runs training on this ever, but it's important. Next one is, which of these statements would best describe your attitude about the next 3 years? Now remember, he's older. So 3 years is more important to him than the younger clients. You with me? His answer was what? I can tolerate a small loss. Okay? That jives with the rest of his answers. The last one. Over the next 90 days, he says, if my investment declined greater than 20%, I'd be concerned. When you add up the points, he scored 24. So you move here, go to 24. Where does he equal? Moderate growth portfolio. You can't mess it up. Now, what I will tell you is, let's make believe that he scored 1 point more. Now he's in growth. Based on his questions, I personally would not be comfortable. But the score needs to equal the risk. The risk score needs to equal this investment portfolio. So what I would do is I would probably review the questions with him again, and you would probably see there is one question that really didn't jive. So I'd re-explain to him. I'd re-ask him the question. If you're like one number over any one of these and it moves you into the riskier category, I'd probably redo the questionnaire and guide him where it's 1 point less. So I'm more comfortable, and the client ultimately is more comfortable. Okay, any questions on that? Pretty easy to see, right? Next one is an older client that's ready to retire. He's ready. he or she is ready. She's like, I got my millions of dollars. I'm ready to quit this job. I'm walking in tomorrow. I'm telling them, take one of these. I'm out of here forever. You know, they've been waiting to do that their whole career, right? Time horizon. How old is he? Look, 56 to 65. That scores him a lower point, 3 points. When do you expect withdrawing income? In what? 2 years or less. On this investment, I intend to take moderate risk in return for growth opportunity. Okay? I have no problem with that. Now, if he would have scored any of the other two over that, I would have a problem with that. Okay? Because you know what also happens? This isn't good. They think I don't have enough money, so I need to invest aggressively. That is the complete wrong attitude to have. If you don't have enough money, you're not able to invest aggressively, because if the market goes down and you already do not have enough money, you're really in trouble. And then you know what happens? He never explained that to me. They all get amnesia. Okay, so the next one, assuming normal market conditions, what would you expect from this investment over time? And the answer is to have what? Some stability, but make a modest profit. That's an answer that a person that's ready to retire would give you. They're not like, you know, if the market's up, I want to kill it. They don't want to lose their money, and they want to earn a little money. Next one, suppose the stock market performs unusually poorly over the next decade. What would you expect from this investment? Their answer, what? To make a modest gain. We went over all the portfolios, income, and what's the one over income? Conservative growth. Both of those, if you invested at the worst time, still made you money. Right or wrong? Next one. Which of these statements would best describe your attitude about the next 3 years? Answer, I can tolerate a small loss. Because even in the income and the conservative year one, there was a loss. Remember? It was a small loss. It wasn't huge. Left it alone, it's in line. Over the next 90 days, I'd be concerned if it dropped more than 10%. He scored what score? 17. You go to here, 17 is conservative portfolio. He has $1 million, you're going to use platinum. You're going to spread them out into, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different mutual funds. Half of them will be stocks, half of them will be bonds. That's the right investment mix for that specific client. Is everybody pretty comfortable with the who's glad there's a matrix created, right? Raise your hand. Look, every hand went up, right? Everybody comfortable with the investment risk questionnaire? How you answer them? You just need to jive. You need to gel. I'm gelling, whatever that commercial is. Remember, I'm gelling.